Well, thanks for joining me, folks. This is your host, ID Jester. Welcome to Marvel Heroes 2015 edition. So we are going to be looking at every single solitary hero in the game. There are currently 53 heroes. There's one hero that is about ready to be released. So what I'm hoping to do is every day bring you guys a new look at a new hero every single day until we've covered every single one of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend, half hour max looking at the heroes, giving you my thoughts about them, kind of going over the different skills they have or abilities, letting you see what the equipment is, and then we're going to play them for a little while and let you see all the powers in action, just to give you a general gist of whether or not this hero might be somebody you might be interested in picking up in Marvel Heroes. So let's go ahead and get right into it then. First thing I'm going to try to do is talk about the different powers each of the heroes have, just to let you know what they can do and what they can't do. So Jean Grey will be our very first hero here that we're going to be doing in our hero look, and we're going to be looking at every single hero, but she'll be the first one, very first one. All right, so her claim to fame, power-wise, which kind of separates her from everything else, is she's got this Phoenix Force bar that generates power as you use your powers, and once it completely fills up, then you can activate your Dark Phoenix power, which does some huge amounts of damage and generates a bunch of other procs on your powers. So these are the powers I am using, and there's probably lots of other builds out there. My default attack is Psychic Hammer. It's a ranged area attack. Then I always have as my number 2 power whatever the hero's dash or teleport forward or whatever power. Getting around the battlefield is very, very important to be able to pick up all the little globes on the ground and getting out of the way when heroes are charging you or whatever. So I always have that as my number 2 power. My number 3 power is my telekinetic throw. A lot of people like this psychic lethargy, and I do too, but I'm going to be using telekinetic throw because of the extra bonuses. I should mention that a lot of the powers we're choosing is because of the Dark Phoenix has 3 different options you can choose. We're actually choosing the Cosmic Avatar, and every one of our powers is getting bumped by this Cosmic Avatar or gives us some kind of a bonus to the power. So that's why a lot of the powers I'm choosing, you can see the telekinetic throw has a greater critical hit and brutal strike chance. And obviously at level 60, critical hit and brutal strike are where it's at. So that was my 3rd power. My 4th power is the Psychic Implosion, and you will notice on a lot of these powers, the Dark Phoenix is going to give different bonuses and stuff. You can just put it on pause. I'm not going to cover every single detail about everything, or this video would be over an hour long. Our signature power is Crushing Telekinesis. It's a very good power. You are invulnerable as you activate this power, and it basically can alter enemies' attacks at you, and it's a really, really impressive power. Our 6th power is Telekinetic Wave, and that does some pretty good damage as well. And then our 7th power is our Dark Phoenix. We can activate that as soon as this fills up. And then last but not least, our 9th power is usually what I have over on my right mouse button is whatever the hero's flight movement or grand teleport or whatever to get around the battlefield. Sometimes I don't do that if I have too many powers that I need to put on my bar. I do not use multiple bars except for in cases where it's a turn on, turn off power, like Jean Grey or Iron Man, where you turn things on and just leave them on. I'm not going to be that much into a hero where I'm going to be switching bars to turn on and off powers to min-max to the 27th degree. I'm just trying to give you a general overview of how I play and how a normal person that's not going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of hours playing the same hero over and over again, and how they might be. All right, sorry about that. And so I'm not going to be like changing bars and trying to min-max my powers to the 27th degree. Like, I'm going to be playing this hero as like ultra powerful. I'm just trying to make it so that an everyday person can join the game and see what the heroes are like and be able to understand how they play. As far as the Omega system goes, I've done something different with Jean Grey than I've done with some of the other heroes. I use the psionics mostly. I went straight down this bar to get the 10 energy, and then I went straight down this bar here to get the extra damage. It does affect our health, though. We lose 5% of our current health. But health really hasn't been that big an issue for her at this point. As far as the rest of our Omega points go, you can see we don't have a lot of leftover points. We got a couple in Warpath to get the extra fighting, and a few in Spin Tech there. We didn't actually have enough points to even finish that category out yet. I got about 5,600 points, I think, is what I got. So if you have less than that, you might not be able to get all this, and if you have more than this, you would probably be able to get some more. Most importantly, we're going to look at her stats. Obviously, critical hit ratings at 52.1%. That is really good. You want to get at least 50%. Ideally, you would like between 55 and 60, but you don't want to sacrifice too much to get it too high. And our brutal strike rating is 48%, so just a little bit low. We'd like to get that, again, up to 50 to 55%, but 48 is pretty reasonable. It's almost where we need to be. And I haven't really min-maxed her all that much. Of course, we're going to try and give her decent items and everything. In fact, we've given her a little bit more than decent items in this. We actually have a couple rare items, the Blessed Gem of the Curse, and of course the Black Tom's Shillelagh. When I am talking about Jean Grey, the other thing I forgot to mention about the powers is actually she does a combination of mental damage and energy damage unless you turn this on. You can see down there while it's turned on, you convert all mental damage to energy damage. And so when this is activated, you are going to be doing all energy damage and not a combination of mental and energy. Which would really, really benefit if you could turn it on and turn it off. If you wanted to, but again, for simplicity's sakes, I am just going to be running around having a good time, and I'm not going to really worry about trying to min-max my powers to get every little proc off of them that I can. Again, got some pretty good items on here, not too bad, and ended up getting some pretty good stats out of it. As far as our, we have 23 energy, we got 9 in fighting. We're using the incredible normal Shrunken Cow, which works out really good for her. And yeah, we got a Insignia of Archangel, which again I could probably replace to try and get some more brutal strike damage. But of course, at that point I would be losing a little bit of health and a little bit of spirit. But at this point, she plays really well. So pros and cons for Jean Grey. From my playthroughs and from my experience with her, my number one pro for her is she freaking rocks. She is so good to watch play. She's got some of the best graphical effects in the game. When other heroes are just jumping around and swinging a baton or swinging a sword, when she activates her powers, the other heroes get the hell out of her way because they are so impressive. So if you like just graphic flash and power with her, with your heroes, you will definitely love Jean Grey. She has just got some of the best graphic effects in the whole game, and you're going to see them here in just a minute when we start flashing around the battlefield. The other pro, I guess, is she's got a really nice signature power and a really, really good ultimate power. So a combination of those. All in all, I would say that she doesn't do as much damage as some of the other more powerful heroes out there, but she is a consistent hero in that she does some pretty consistent damage. She doesn't get out a lot of these 4, 5, 6 million. Now I know there's going to be people posting and saying, "Oh, bullshit. I get 5 million crits on her all the time." I'm talking about with just a normal build with kind of just really good equipment, nothing super special or anything. I mean, you could deck Jean Grey out, and any hero. You can deck out any single hero to be the ultimate badass if you really spend a lot of time and resources and everything. But because I own every single hero, I'm not putting all my resources into one hero. I'm kind of spreading my resources around. I'm going to give each one kind of a few good ones, and then kind of fill in wherever I need to kind of make her decent. Now, in this case, I actually did give her a power dupe, which is kind of a rare U-Forged item. She does have 2 kind of rare items here, and of course she does have legendary, which is obviously all of these are going to help make her better. Now, there's a lot of other things you could be adding, even ultra rare items that I don't even have yet that can make her even better, and maybe you can even do some ultimate, huge crits and everything. But all in all, I think she's just slightly less than some of the more powerful heroes. But all in all, she does more consistent damage than some of the other heroes. So when the other heroes are doing like 2 and 3 million crits, she does 700, 800,000 consistently all the time. So she makes up for the ultimate damage in the fact that she's more consistent than the other heroes, I believe. She's really, really easy to play. If you like easy heroes, again, I don't have to ever worry about her health. And spirit can be an issue, depending on how much you use. But if you just want to get your hero out there and start blasting people and attacking 4 bosses by yourself and not have to worry about dying every 30 seconds, she's a really easy hero to play. So let's go play her and let you watch. So you can see, look at that. I mean, just her lunge forward power is so impressive. When you got some of the other heroes that just kind of just roll on the ground or whatever, we're talking about these graphic effects and everything. So here we go. We're just going to activate a couple of our powers here. And you can watch, this is our telekinetic throw. You see it comes out like a little phoenix. Does some pretty good damage. You can see our health. The only reason our health takes a hit is because, why? Well, because, I've got that Omega chest where we're going to be taking 5% of our health every time we attack. So, alright, so now we've got enough energy on our Phoenix Force. We're going to go ahead and go into Dark Phoenix. And basically, look at that. I mean, other heroes see this coming. They get the hell out of the way because they don't want to be caught up in our firestorm of awesomeness. She is really, really fun, easy to play hero. If we can get up against the bosses here or something, I'll give you a chance to check that out. But we'll get her signature power here in just a second if we can find... let's see if we can find... oh, there's a couple heroes down there. All right. So let's actually just fly. So she can fly, obviously. Oops, looks like they wiped out the other guy. We'll come after... I think... where'd she go? Oh, they must have got her as well. I tell you. So you can see I'm not even activating any super cool power. She has this telekinetic implosion, which is a really good power. I'm going to try and get away from the other heroes so you can see just her graphic effect here. Look at that. I wasn't even trying to hit those guys. Alright, so the telekinetic implosion basically brings everybody over to her and does a massive amounts of damage and blows up in their face, again with a really good graphic effect. Now we're going to use our signature power, which basically will grab everybody throw them up in the air and they have a bunch of rocks fall down on their heads. So that's pretty good. And the other thing is it's got a really short cooldown on it too. Let's go to Dark Phoenix again, because you can see we generate that much Phoenix Spores here. We're just doing damage by having them inside the area, like serious damage, just by being too close to us. Now, we compare this hero's graphic effects to some of the others, you're really going to be amazed at how much detail she has compared to some of the others that don't really don't have the flash, that don't have the I'm doing too much damage to myself, I think. Grab you guys, have you all die a horrible death. And here I was talking about how we didn't have a health problem, but I guess I do more damage to myself than the enemies do, to tell you the truth. Implode! Implode! So some of her powers on cooldown. Grab you guys. And obviously I've got the graphic of numbers on the screen so you can see, you know, the big red numbers are obviously brutal strikes. That's what you're after. We'll go after the bosses here. And we'll get to show you our ultimate power, which is awesome graphic effect. Does some really good damage as well. Got our Dark Phoenix going. Now we'll activate our ultimate power. Oh my god, look at these numbers flashing on the screen. That's just insane. Now we're going to activate this. You can't even see the numbers because there's so many and happening so quickly. And we're going to instantly get our Dark Phoenix going again. I mean, the other heroes are like, they're just standing there watching because they're so impressed with our abilities, I think. So she definitely has a nice flair to her. She's very easy. You just go to an area. You don't even have to like really have to do much to get her to run. You just sit there, use your basic attack, or well, it's not even a basic attack. Just do your normal attack. Every once in a while, you throw in a signature power, which it happens to be every 20 seconds, which is really small cooldown for some. Use the implosion every once in a while when you get surrounded by too many of them. Very easy to play, and you can see in normal situations, if I'm not spamming my attacks too fast, we don't really have to worry about, and of course, we don't have to worry about health. And then, of course, we get the Dark Phoenix, which happens all the time now because of the way we have our heroes set up. Dark Phoenix again. Boy, we were just cranking through the Dark Phoenix like it's going out of style here. The only problem with the graphic effects is sometimes it's actually hard to see your hero in with all this, and it can be a little confusing where your hero is and what, you know, if you're in danger or not in danger, or if you're getting ready to be run over by Rhino, or because you got so much going on, it's hard to actually keep track of what's going on. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to pick up Jean Grey as one of your heroes. Alright, so we got to look at our ultimate power, we got to look at our signature powers, we got to look at our normal powers. You can see our spirit is not that going down that fast, and we're not using any basic attacks. For those of you who don't know, basic attacks normally don't cost you any spirit, so you can regen your spirit. But at this point we are just using all spirit spending powers, but because of some of the equipment we have and the way she's set up, we don't really have to worry about much spirit issues. Come on. Come out here and fight me. Let's see if we can find one of those mini bosses to fight. Like Ape Man or something like that would be good. Again, I'm just kind of going to an area using my Psychic Hammer, Telekinetic Throw, and my Psychic Implosion. And every once in a while, I'll activate my signature power. Oh, look, we completed something. My legendary quest. Yay for me. Use another implosion. Our cooldown's on half. There we go. Alright. Heard even her lunge forward does power when you end your lunge. So, like that guy took damage from just me lunging into him. Oh, we got some bosses. Where are they? Okay, they're down here. We'll go after the bosses. Yeah, just getting down to the bosses, a lot of people are taking damage. That's I would go to Dark Phoenix, activate this, we'll do an implosion, and we'll do our rock falls. I saw a million flash on there real quick. There's a 700,000, 700,000, 600,000, 700,000. So you see what I'm talking about. She doesn't have these really huge, you know, 2 or 3 million crits, but she has enough damage that, you know, it's respectable. It's very respectable. And with her signature power, that was a 1.4 million. So, you know, her signature power is going to be able to crank out a million or more, obviously, as we saw, 1.5 million. And just, you see some of the other heroes, they don't have near the power that Jean Grey does. Graphically wise, I'm talking about, not just power in general. I'm talking about alright, here's 8-Man. Let's see if we can take him on by ourselves here. He actually got a spear off into my head and did some damage to me. Dark Phoenix time. So now I'm just sitting there. I'm just using my normal attack. He's just inside my zone. He's going to take massive amounts of damage. Every once in a while, I'll implode. I'll throw my Dark Phoenix out. And look at, I mean, just, there is some other heroes that showed up to help us. But, really, you saw how fast my health came back. I didn't use a potion or anything. We do have one thing I was going to change out on her, actually, to make it even better for her, was is to add in a better Cosmic Core for her that actually regenerate 400 health every time she hits somebody. Then she will really be just like unstoppable. I mean, she just does enough damage that they can't hurt me enough. I've done some cosmic runs on all the bosses with her. Never really had any problems, so that's a good thing if you don't have any problems with the bosses. And I've come out here and fought some of four or five bosses in Midtown Patrol without having any. You know, it took me a little while, but didn't really have any problems, you know, worried about getting defeated or anything. And even if she is defeated, actually, if we look at this really quickly, another one of her, what's this? Darkhold Scroll. Yeah, we'll pick it up. Binding Rune and Oak Rune. We do need the Oak Rune. I don't think we need the Binding Rune, but we'll pick them up just in case. Let me throw these into our inventory before I forget what I'm doing. Yeah, so another one of her bonuses is actually, I think it's in her powers. This power right here. On defeat, she's going to regenerate 100% maximum spirit and health, become invulnerable for 2.5 seconds, and there is only a 1 minute and 4 second cooldown on that. So even if you get defeated, you instantaneously come back, and that recharges every 1.4 minutes. That is super good, super good. So she's pros, she looks awesome. She's easy to play. She's got some really cool powers. Just being able to flash around and activate Dark Phoenix and her awesome Omega level. Just watching her go, obviously, as you've been watching. Really fun hero to delve into and have fun with. Health-wise, respectable. Spirit-wise is kind of respectable. Item-wise, I don't have, if you just have her default items, you don't need to have anything special or ultra rare for items. All of her items seem to do pretty good for her. There's a few things I would probably change out. Number one is probably this insignia of Archangel. Get rid of the health and spirit, and maybe try and get some little bit more brutal strike rating would be okay for her. But definitely the Cosmic Core. Right now, that core is not really doing as much of anything. 82 health regeneration is not that much, especially when I could do something like... Where is our core? Oop, there it was. Where'd it go? Here it is. Something like gain 400 health when you hit an enemy. So you can see, put that on. Every time she hits somebody, gain 400 health. Here's one with a little bit of spirit as well, and gain some extra movement speed. Probably do something like that just to give her a little bit better health regen, especially since our Omega system. I mean, every time I attack, I lose 1,000 health, but pretty consistently, I don't have to worry about that. What is our health regen at? That is a good question. I'm glad you asked. What is our health regen at? Spirit cost recovery is 4 per second. Spirit cost is 8.8% less. That's all we're attacking. Oh, here's health regenerate. There it is. So health passive regenerates each second. 0% plus 410 per second. So right now I'm doing 410 per second. So probably from items and whatever. Maybe from Omega points as well. So nothing very big. Health regen wise, 410 per second is not that much. If I'm losing every time I attack, I'm losing over 1,000. I'm losing 1,200 points every time I attack. Alright, well that is our look at Jean Grey. I hope you enjoyed our look. We're going to be looking at every single hero in the game. Kind of giving you a flavor of how they play, giving you my pros and cons, what I think about them. Again, we're just going to set them up with, kind of normal equipment, normal everything, and I'll let you know if I put anything special on them. Obviously, the more rare and the more special items you have, the better your hero goes. But as I mentioned, I'm one of these players that plays all the heroes. So I spread everything out amongst them. I have probably 8 to 10 heroes that I favor, and so they have more items than some of the others. But like, for example, say Colossus here, who's not one of my main heroes. He's got decent equipment. He's got some relics. He's got U-Forge. He's got some items in him. I just have to add a pet over to him. But he doesn't have anything, ultra rare or ultra fancy. He's just got, just normal stuff. In fact, we might just look at Colossus next, just to give you guys an idea. Alright, so that was Jean Grey, and I guess, you know what? We're going to do Colossus next, so look for Colossus to come in part 2 of our 53 heroes. And 53 heroes, hopefully at least one a day for you guys. So thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.